I have always been told, you have always been told, they always have to show the hand.
We've now passed 7 billion on this planet. When I was born, it was a little over 2. Food prices are rising, oil is ending. When our resources end in 20 years, given everything that we know of our species, do you really think we're going to just share?
So your answer to that is some kind of genocide?
No, it is not. It is not genocide. Our answer to this is Janus. Janus consists of a protein and an amino acid. Independently of each other, they're harmless. But when they're brought together in the subject, they act as a genetic trigger that prevents chromosomal division. The cell targeted can no longer replicate itself and is thereby rendered useless. The change is permanent and hereditary.
And which cells are targeted?
Those that control fertility, Becky. The purpose of Janus is to sterilize. The purpose of Janus is to sterilize the entire human race.
But it's only a TV program. It's not real. That's the same people that will say, hey, to tell you the truth in movies and films, but when you show things like that, it's like, no, it's just a TV program. It's not real. It's not reality. So, in this video, and for anyone asking, yeah, that is from Utopia. I've talked about it many times in all Janus videos or Janus videos, whatever way you want to pronounce it. It talks about in that, it basically says, hey, they put a serum, they put like a virus type of thing into the food, etc., to sterilize the human population, to bring the population down. So in this video, I want to show you my Janus research mixed with a bit of Utopia and a bit of the gold that I found that will bloody shock you to the core. And just hold on and enjoy the ride.
Epidemiologists have found humans across the globe are becoming increasingly less fertile as toxic chemicals continue to build up in our environment and accumulate in our bodies. Research shows the worldwide fertility rate dropped by nearly 60% between 1960 and 2018, and sperm counts have been dropping at nearly the same rate. If this trend continues, some epidemiologists predict that sperm counts could reach 0 by the year 2045.
2045, that's an 11. 2 I'd 4 I'd 5 is an 11. That's a Janus number.
Tonight, this message is gaining steam.
So let me say very simply, I want more babies in the United States of America.
Well, it's led to what's called the pro-natalist movement, and it's getting more popular because of messages from Vice President Vance and Elon Musk, who, of course, has at least 13 children with multiple women. CNN's Mina Durson is out front at the 2025 Natal Conference, because, yes, there is a conference.
Raise your hand if you are a mom or a dad in the room here tonight. This is the war for civilization, and we are going to win it one life at a time.
We're here at NatalCon, which is a gathering of about 200 people from all over the world who have come here because they all feel very strongly that the world needs more babies.
There's a civilizational catastrophe coming, and the way to solve it is to have sex. Like, that's got to be the easiest pitch in history.
Birth rates around the world are plummeting, and they think this is the issue of our time.
For years, two things have been true. The world's population is increasing and its birth rate is falling. South Korea already had the world's lowest birth rate, but this week, new data showed it had fallen further. Japan also recorded a new low.
The decline of births is in a state of crisis. I believe we're at a time when we have to take urgent measures.
The birth rate is the average number of children that each woman has, and when birth rates are discussed, you'll see this number a lot, 2.1. This is the birth rate needed to maintain population levels. South Korea's not close. Last year, its rate was 0.72. Japan is at 1.26. To put this in context, the EU average is 1.53 and the UK is at 1.49, and that is a record low. In fact, many countries are now below 2.1.
The purpose of Janus is to sterilize. The purpose of Janus is to sterilize the entire human race.
So guys, the purpose of Janus is to sterilize the entire human population, according to the series Utopia. Now, Utopia came out in the UK in January. Yes, Janus's month. But that's just a coincidence, guys. And in his Janus bifrons form, his two-headed form, he's got two heads. So they had to make two series, one in the UK and one in the US. And as you know, the UK one came out in January and the other one in the US come out in September. But if you ignore September and just added the numbers, 2 add 5 is 7. Add 2, 9, add another 2. Yes, you got it. Another 11. That's just a coincidence. And as you know, they're talking about sterilising the population, and we can all theorise to what is the major contributor to that. Is it the jibber jabber? Is it pollution? Is it the food that we eat? Is it all of the above? So guys, I want to highlight something first for anyone who is new to the channel and doesn't understand what I'm talking about. Janus is something I research a lot, and his number, amongst a few other numbers, is 11. It represents a doorway, gateway. You'll see in a lot of things happening in the news and the media. They love to show you this 11. So we're talking about sterilising the entire human race. So why did they use Janus, his name, for this in the program? Is it just a coincidence, or is the connection? So here's the basic connection. Janus was known as the initiator of human life, transformations between stages of life, and shifts from one historical era to another. Ancient Romans believed Janus, or Janus, whatever you want to pronounce, ruled over life events such as weddings and births and deaths. So what? Births. So you can see how important this insignificant god is. He oversaw seasonal events, etc., such as planting, harvest, seasonal changes and the new year. So he's a god of births. Hence, if you have to do a ritual to sterilize, you well better make the ritual and include Janus's name. So let's quickly go a little bit deeper. An epitaph, another name of Janus, was Consivius Sower, or Consivius, and it's an epitaph that reflects the tutelary function of the god at the first instance of human life and of life in general, conception. The function is a particular case of the function of patron of beginnings, because he's a god of beginnings also. As far as man is concerned, it is obvious of the greatest importance, even though Augustine and some modern scholars see it as minor. Augustine shows astonishment at the fact that some of the Dil Selecti may be engaged in such tasks. In fact, Janus is himself first. When pregnancy is conceived, he's there at that moment. Even the head, the penis, without a foreskin, looks like two heads. I've showed you this in many videos. So, in fact, Janus himself first, when pregnancy is conceived, opens the way to the receiving of the semen. Varro, on the other hand, this is from Macrobius and different things from, ancient times. Varro, on the other hand, had cleared that relevance of the function of starting a new life by opening the way to the semen, and therefore started the enumeration of the gods with Janus. Following the pattern of the Carmen Celler, Macrobius gives the same interpretation of the epitaph in his list, basically. Consivius, from sowing, from the propagation of the human race that is disseminated by the working of Janus. So yeah, I'm just showing you how significant Janus is. He's the art of conceiving. He's there at that moment, the god of beginnings and ends, of births. So if you're doing a ritual, you would have to do it under his name. Hence why in the show they call the sim to sterilize Janus. So we'll just carry on, because in it we talk about food, don't we, and things like this. Have a look at this. This is what blew me away, guys. Janus or Janus particles can be combined with natural and safe food products such as anthocyanin, pronunciation is bad I know, and acetate to track food quality. Franco et al. 2021. Meanwhile, Janus or Janus particles synthesized by silver nanoparticles and chitosan were proved to be pronounced antimicrobial activity. So for a few good years it says it can. So it's up to you whether you believe it or not, but I'm theorising it's possibly that they're telling you it's been added to food, Janus particles. So from many times Janus particles has been added to food. So a few of the words in there caught my attention. The anthocyanin is responsible for the colours red, purple and blue. They're in fruits and vegetables. Berries, currants, grapes and some tropical fruits have high anthocyanins content. Red to purplish blue coloured leafy vegetables, grains, roots and tubes are the edible vegetables that contain a high level of that anthocyanin. Right, so you got Janus particles in that. Now it also mentioned, if I remember, acetate or acetate. For instance, acetate containing foods include dairy products, dried pastas, bread, liquid, eggs, salt substitutes, coffee substitutes, processed meat, smoked frozen fish. So you can see why I'm going wow. So they talked about in the series that, hey, we'll put it in the food and all this stuff combined will make people sterilise, and it's called Janus. And Janus particles, according to this, have been added to food in these variances. So there's one more, I think it is, and it was chitosan or chitosan. Is a sugar that comes from the outer skeleton of shellfish, including crab, lobster and shrimp. It's used as a medicine and in drug manufacturing. Chitosan is a fibrous substance that might reduce how much fat and cholesterol the body absorbs from foods. It also helps blood clot when applied to wounds. So guys, tell me that ain't wow. Tell me that ain't shocked. It shocked me that they're talking about, yes, we're calling it the Janus and it's going to sterilise human people, and according to this, they could have had Janus particles in food. And some of the stuff that it contains are coffee, bread, liquid, eggs, and all the shrimp, lobster, etc., and in medicines. So it's out there in the food and the medicines, and people are getting sterilised, and it's Janus. So you can see why I'm shocked, and I'm like wow. So if you want to look at it in a different way quickly, is that the production and it came out, the series came out in January. So as some of you will know, January is Janus's month, but also the star sign for January. Well, there's two really, isn't there? There's Capricorn and there's Aquarius. So if you look at the female reproduction system, and I'll put it on screen now, people have always said, yeah, it looks like a ram, it looks like a goat. Well, what is Capricorn but the sea goat, the goat? And it's January, and it's the 11th star sign. That's just a mere coincidence. And if you think about it, then the Aquarius, the water bearer, the seaman, because it's generally a man holding a water urn, pouring out water, and as you can see from the crotch, the penis region. So is this showing you that the semen is coming out the water of life? I just thought that was wow, guys, and it blew me away. So from that quick showing that, yes, Janus is making people infertile in the TV series, I've showed you there's Janus particles in the food and the medicines, and even the month of January is the female reproduction symbol and the water bearer. That has got to make you go wow and your mouth drop. It has mine. So that's got to have like made your mouth drop. It did mine, like I said. But it's not like they've been hiding. It's not like they've been hiding and then plotting from the shadows to reduce the population. You can find stuff over the years that's telling you they want to reduce the population. And they love to use, again, that number 11 because it's Janus's number. It's one of them. So here's from an old clip just showing you the significance, again, of Janus and this number 11.
More than 11,000 scientists signed a petition calling for population control as a means of combating climate change. That's this week's Speak Out segment. In an article published Tuesday in the journal Bioscience, the scientists wrote that planet Earth is, quote, facing a climate emergency. They argued that population control was a necessary response to this emergency, writing, quote, the world population must be stabilized and ideally gradually reduced. This ideology is dangerous because it suggests that reducing the human population is the best solution to our problems.
The biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true. So they don't do that because women say to themselves they want 2 children to survive into adulthood. If she knows that 2 will survive into adulthood, she will naturally bring down her population. And so as soon as she starts to see that getting them vaccinated or keeping them alive during the birth, she won't have as many children. That's what we just heard from this group as well, that the older women had had more children, hoping more would survive, but the younger women are starting to plan for smaller families because they know they'll live.
They all said they wanted 3.
Yeah. Which is fantastic.
Not 8.
That's what you want. Yeah.
And so if you understand that there's a high likelihood that your child is going to survive, you believe they'll have fewer.
Absolutely, and we're seeing that play out in all the population numbers across the globe. In fact, the population rates are coming down faster than had been predicted 10 years ago. Absolutely, and we're seeing that play out in all the population numbers across the globe. In fact, the population rates are coming down faster than had been predicted 10 years.
So guys, do you remember this from the clip that I played right at the beginning?
Genus consists of a protein and an amino acid. Independently of each other, they're harmless. But when they're brought together in the subject, they act as a genetic trigger that prevents chromosomal division.
So my friends, I'm going to come to an end now with this last section. And hopefully this section will blow your mind like the rest of the video, because I wanted to keep it short and impactful. So you just saw me put a little clip, basically refreshing your memory on TV series talking about what was used as a trigger to make people sterile, and it was Janus. And in that they talk about proteins, amino acids. So a long time ago, when we was in lockdown, I was talking and showing and making content telling people that this was a ritual to Janus. So you know, a lot of you have been with me since those times, and you know what I'm talking about. So I have talked about this, what I'm going to mention, but not in this terms, because I didn't put 2 and 2 together in regard to that. I talked about Utopia, I've talked about what I'm going to talk about now, but not in the sense of, hey, they've just mentioned amino acids. Is there an amino acid out there that is named Janus? And there is, and it was found in the early 1990s before lockdown. And as you can, I'll read it out. In the early 1990s, the search for a protein kinase led to the discovery of a novel family of non-receptor tyrosine kinases, the Janus kinases, or JAKs for short. These proteins were unusual because they contained 2 kinase homology domains and no other known signaling modules. So underneath, and just to refresh your memory again, for anyone who's new, a number I've associated and tagged Janus with is 11. You saw it briefly in this video, and in other videos you'll see a lot of it. I've done a series called The Realm of L11. So this is ScienceDirect.com, and they talk about the Janus kinase contain about 11,000 amino acid residues. Come on guys, 11,000. What are the odds on that? So these amino acids that the series is talking about, the Janus, actually exists, and it contains 11,000 amino acid residues. Wow, that just blew my mind. So the series talks about making people infertile and sterile, correct guys? We can all agree on that. And I'm like, what if? So in 2001, some person wrote these 2 articles One's for the National Institute of Health and the other is for fertility and sterility. And they've been cited 51 for the top and 52 times at the bottom. But it mentions something that's just blown my mind. So, members of the Janus kinase signaling transducers and activators of transcriptions, JAKs and STATs, pathways are present and active in human sperm. So in 2001, this science articles, whatever that you want to, label them as that, are telling you that the Janus is present and active in human sperm. What is stated from the TV series as being the contributor to make people infertile is the Janus proteins, the JAKs. I've showed you JAKs exist, and now I've showed you that JAKs are ever present and active in human sperm from 2001. So you got to think, and a lot of people over the years have said, hey Paul, do you know about this in regard to JAKs? And obviously because I'm quite thorough on Janus, I have, but I've never made a video like this in regard to Utopia and this connection. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it at last. And this just blew me also. So sperm was found in 2001, as you can see from the last article, and that's when it was made, so I'm assuming it was 2001. And what was used as an early treatment for that word that we're not allowed to use, you can see it on the screen, Janus kinase, or JAKs for short. JAKs was used as a treatment in lockdown for the ho. Come on guys, even the hardened troll out there, seeing the 11 connections and seeing that yes, the Janus proteins are real. They're also included in food that I showed you, and now they're also in treatment for the ho. What's the odds on that? That just absolutely blew my mind. So like I was saying and have said over the years, I said the lockdown was a ritual to Janus because of all the contribution factors that I mentioned over the years. The basic one is, hey, put a face mask on. What does a face mask do to you? It makes you two-faced. I mean, what is it in gematria? 1, 4, 6. 1 add 4 add 6 equals 11. And the ho, you can see at the top, adds to 11 also. But that's just a coincidence. These are all coincidences. It's not like when they were testing people with the swabs in their noses and their mouths and the blood. What did he track them on and test on them? Oh yeah, it was a Janus G3 workstation. Oh, but that's just a coincidence. That's, come on guys. Hopefully most of you like me. Wow. So when you show these things in aligning, it leaves you and raises an eyebrow for sure, surely. And I mean, it's not like the first death, to this ritual was on a specific date. I mean, what date would that be? Oh yes, the first death, January the 11th. It mind blows me this all the time when I go back and look over my old stuff, and I've put a lot of new stuff in this together. It's just left me with my mouth dropped, and I was just about to finish this segment and the video and go to my thoughts, and I remembered what I posted earlier. An epithet of Janus's names is Consivius Soa, and I'll highlight it if I can and zoom in a little bit and show you what I'm talking about. So we've talked about in this little bit about the Janus being found in sperm. We found it in additive, that adds the food so they can track all this good stuff, and we've found it in treatment of the ho-ho-hovid. Now, if you remember, this is from Macrobius, so it's ancient. And if you remember this bit I read out, see if you remember. In fact, Janus himself first, when pregnancy is conceived, opens the way to the receiving of the semen. I've just showed you that the Janus has been found in the sperm. And this ancient, whatever they call them, information from Macrobius talks about how Janus's other name is Consivius because he's a creation, and he opens the way to receiving the semen, and we just talked about semen being in the sperm. It's like history is repeating, and it's just mind-blowing, isn't it? There's no way around it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my thoughts and have a quick chat in there, and again, as usual, thanks for being open and listening to the information I've provided today.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome. Right guys, as always, I like to start the videos off by saying a big thank you for everyone that's showed love and support, and you can carry on doing this by like, share and subscribe, and that's the biggest way that it really gives me fuel, helps me. It's easier, they're watching and they appreciate the content and what I'm trying to do. Other people have asked how can we help the channel. You can help the channel by buying me a coffee or buying me a bar. The QR code is there and the link will be in the description. And for anyone that's done that, my heart goes out, because obviously times are hard, and for you to give me a little coffee like that or a bar, it gets me emotional, so thank you. So let's crack on with the video. So where do we start? So I've researched Janus for many years. Some people don't like me doing this topic. I get a lot of trolls and other YouTube creators criticising when I talk about this topic. It's like a taboo in a taboo society, and people don't even like me saying I get trolled or I get flack, I get abuse from people. They complain that I'm complaining. Well, this is my platform. I have zero contact basically to talk and get my views out apart from here, so I do this. So I know sometimes it can be always off moaning again, but it's the only chance I get. So when I get it, I want to take it. I'm like you guys, moaning about me moaning, and we have to do it. We have to do it. Come on, let a person have a bit of release. So I've researched the topic for years and years and years. Obviously, I've known about the TV series Utopia. A lot of you have commented, "Hey Paul, did you know about Utopia?" I did, but I've never been really one to, like do reviews or find hidden stuff, like full videos on TV series and films. I leave them to better people out there who do that on a more regular basis. But obviously I've known about it. I've known about the JAKs, the Janus kinase and the proteins and that. And I've mentioned that in the old content, but I never put them two together. I've known about them, I've talked about them, and I don't know why it twigged this week. It's just one of those things comes in, yeah. When you're trying to think of something to do, I'm like, whoa. I saw that's what it was. I think I was talking about it recently in one of my Black Sheep talks with Session on the Nile. I'm talking about the population, and I've done videos on population before, which got the channel throughout. I'm deleted. So one of these things they don't like you talking about. Why? So I'm sitting here and I'm looking, and I'm going to do that because in Europe now they're trying to give tax reliefs to people to finish their jobs and have children. Well, if they're going to this, and China and things like that used to always have a 1 child limit, didn't they? And now it's gone to 2. Well, if these people are trying to promote having babies, if we're overpopulated, why are you trying to do that? So this is why I wanted to do it, and I thought, I'll use the Utopia bit as inspiration, and boy, did it inspire me. And again, please don't take this as fact. Don't take this as this is what's happening. This is just my opinion on the information that I've found, and I've formulated a video and content to just give you guys food for thought and think, could it be? And that's what I love doing. I like giving you some stuff to think about and thinking, hey, has he a point there? Is it total bollard, as I say? But surely it's worthy of your attention, because the Janus topic does not get really looked at, and it's wide ranging. It connects a lot of things, and that is why I've invested my time and effort into researching it and trying to come up with new ways to show you guys just how deep this topic goes. It really is mind-blowing, and I'm like, why are people ignoring this topic? It's like, look at this. I mean, the lockdown, that was one huge ritual. I showed it in my videos using all the gematras and information that they were provided. It's so obvious was a ritual to that god. So then when you tie that into the series that came out, was it 2013 over here, and they talk about a protein, but what gets me is they just didn't just do a UK version, they did a US version. So there you get your two faces. They made two series on it, a US version and a UK version, and both. What the first one was made in January. Come on, it's like you can pick any day to air it. So obviously, someone there is trying to make a point. Yeah, we're talking about Janus here, and it's the proteins added to food and whatnot, and it's making you sterile. You know what? Janus is the god of births and deaths, amongst many other things. We'll release it in January. Come on, guys. Just, come on. His month. They could have done it any other month, but no, they chose it. So that got me to think, you know what, the US version came out when, was it the 25th or something like, yeah, the 25th, 2020. That's an 11. So again, they had to get it in. I'm like, oh, okay, let's carry on a brief look. And the major clip that I put into the video was asking and talking about, it was a guy, I can't remember the series now. I think he works for the firm that did all of it, like all Secret Service or something like that. And it's a while since I've watched it. What was it, 2013? So it's nearly 12 years old since I've watched it. And obviously in them times I wasn't researching Janus. I've only been doing Janus or Janus for about 6-7 years. So obviously I knew about it. And they're talking about a protein when added together in the vessel and making them sterile. So okay, I've talked about Jax in all videos too as one of the first treatments of the COVID. Remember, it was a ritual to Janus, and the first treatment was his name. He has to be first, hence moving January to number 1. So, these non-coincidences. So they talk about a protein or amino acids, whatever you want to call it, and I didn't know about. I just know it was a treatment. I didn't really go in depth in it. So I'm looking, and it's a protein. All right. Did he not just say in a series? And remember, people always say, "Oh, truth is out there. Truth is always put in the TV series and films." That's when they want to show something. So when you want to show something, it's no, it's just a coincidence. You're stretching it there. The two-faced nature of content creators. And this protein exists. And it was discovered before the lockdowns. Okay. Let's go with coincidence. So it's a protein. The series talks about a protein is making us sterile. Okay. So it does exist, and its name is Janus. Wow. So then you look, we've had a lockdown, and the early treatment was this. And now it's found in semen, according to all these articles and science websites. Okay. So the Janus is now found in the semen, and the sterile rate, the fertility rates are plummeting. Okay. Do you see the connection? A TV series, it's not real, talks about Janus being added. The protein, there is actually a protein. It was the first treatment. So thus the population then is decreasing, the fertility rate, and that is found in semen. Janus is the god of births. He's also known as Concevious. And he's there to receive the semen, or open the way for the semen. Now, again, I'm as myself as a person, I've hardly really picked myself up, and I've started doing that now because I'm proud of what I've done. I'm proud of what we have achieved as a collective. I can make content. You guys have watched it. You guys have shared it. You guys have gone around the people you know, passing them a video on and creating talking points. I don't believe you can get a bigger, much more talking point than this for something that's supposedly not real in a TV series. I remember TV series, they're actors. I've talked about actors in spell etymology as being agents. The Actors Guild has two faces. Coincidence? And then people say, well, they're actors. All the world is a stage. And we're merely players. Okay. Stage is an anagram for Gates. Who is the god of Gates? Oh, yes. Janus. But that's just a coincidence when I do it. And I believe this is mind-blowing. Because, again, I'm not saying it's a fact. But bloody hell, you have to go. So then the TV series they're claiming and talking about, we want to reduce and make the population infertile, sterile. And we're using the name Janus. He is actually the god. Even looks like the penis head. I've showed you that in the videos. He is also known as Concevious. He receives and opens the way for the semen. And it's been found in semen. And you have, in the past, scientists demanding the population be controlled. Thousands of them. But how many thousands? Oh well, they tell us 11. But that's his number. I know. But it's just a coincidence when I do it. This is what makes my mouth go. You know, because I know we all see things differently, and that's what I really, really love. And I am open-minded to accept people see things differently. And sometimes we are blind to what we see, but surely this opinion, people can make these things connect better than me. And that's what it's been crying out for. And I've been doing it for so long and ignored for so long. Look at when people do videos. I get ignored on this topic, but they use all my information. Don't even get a heads up. And again, people say, well, it's not about the glory. It's not. It's about appreciation of fellow. For instance, I've always talked about if you was a cobbler and you're making shoes, and other shoemakers say, hey, you make some good stuff. It's appreciation from fellow people in the craft. And that's what I love. I give people shouts out on different things. Don't get them back. Very, very rarely. And that just might be my mentality. And why I'm the anti-social mediaist. Because I'm not on basically social media. I do find it hard because my brain can't accept how people can be so nasty to someone. I've never got it. I'm not one of those to walk around saying peace is love and treating people nice, but I respect people and I treat people how I want to be treated. Yeah, on this community, we can talk to people like shit and blacklist their name for no good reason because you don't believe in it. And the proof is in the pudding, as you say. Go and research this topic. Like I've said in the past, I've had channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I've seen, because people have told me to look, and I've seen them say, hey, go and check out Paul's work on Paul Black Sheep on Janus. And they've been replied, Janus is insignificant, because they've just Googled it. How can this be insignificant? This is just a TV series talking about how Janus is used to make people infertile. But the protein exists. It's been added to food and additives and medicine as a way of tracing. What are they tracing? Or is it something else? The fertility rates are dropping. Is it the chemicals in the air? Is it the plastics? Is it the food? Is it the jibber jabbers? Well, it's found as in all that. The nanoparticles. There's even a bit in it. I didn't even put in the video. I don't know if I've still got it. So if you hear the click, I apologise. It's just me going on it. But no, I've not found it. There is also an ultrasound. The gel that they use contains nanoparticles, but Janus nanoparticles, because they're really good, some type of magnetic stuff. So you're telling me when people go for baby scans, and we're talking about fertility, something in the system, the gel in the machines or something is called Janus? Yeah. Wow. But, you know, I'm not so up on that to include it, but I just wanted to mention it. And you see all the numbers connected with it. And you just have to go, you know, those... Because we only see these links when we're looking for them. Because it's always hidden in plain sight. Because we're not looking for it. It just phases in. We had a huge lockdown for a year or so. And I made video and content showing this is a ritual to Janus. You're putting on a face mask, making you two-faced. All the gematries. And they're in old videos, you know, you can go and check them out, are 11. Janus's name is 11. And it's crazy. It's like, is this just a coinkydinks, as people like to say? Or are they hiding something in plain sight? And again, this video was just me. Hey, if the population is going down, isn't it funny that this TV series mentions his name? And that's found in semen. That is in the food, in the medication, in basically everything. Could this be a reason why? And if you were doing a ritual, and a lot of things can be a ritual, you can get out of bed, it's a ritual, it's a rite. But they are doing this for a reason, and they're mentioning his name. Hence why you started getting murmurings when we had the lockdown in the December time, because that's the vow. That's when they've got to promote and say the vows and release it. It's like you doing a New Year's resolution. You don't just like New Year's Eve and think, shit, what can I give up? What do we need to get better at? You know, you think about it and you talk about it and then you put it down as a resolution. But who's it a resolution to? It's Janus. He's his month, but he doesn't just have that the first month, as I'm telling you. He has every first day of every month: January, February, March, April, May, June, July. And he's also associated. Some say he is, and some say he's not. He's known as Terminus, god of boundaries, which is linked to February. So it's funny. I mean, even in these articles, they talk about Terminus and what is a period of time in regard to being pregnant. It's a term. I'm seeing, and Americans is it trimesters, but over here we call them terms, and in schools terms as well. So you have all these links to the janitor, and it just blows my mind. 11,000 amino acids. Wow, it just absolute blows my mind. And I want to see if anything else before I forget, but the links to this has just blown me. I mean, they even tested on a Janus GP3 workstation. I mean, come on, like I said to her, even the hardened troll who doesn't like me, takes time out of the day to watch my content and criticise everything I do, even them I've got to think, you know what, he does have a point there. And I'm just going to go quickly through the videos I'm editing. I mean, you're talking about the video clips I've put in about having more babies and different things, and the Gates talking about trying to reduce the population. You saw these things. So it's like, on one hand they say the population is growing, yet the fertility rate is dropping, and it's below the ratio 2.1, which is like, replacing what is dying. So there's got to be something in this, and that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. You can hear click, it's just me going through me editing thing, because I don't want to miss anything. And again, it's like the scientists that I mentioned, 11,000 scientists. That was an interesting thing when I was talking about. Obviously, I'm just going over the video, like even the female reproduction system. Look, and this is not me saying it because it's been out there for years. Looks like a goat or a ram. And in January there is 2 star signs: a goat, a sea goat, and a man always holding an urn, a pitcher of water, the water bearer. And I'm saying, wow. And remember, Aquarius is the 11th star sign also. All these connections, and we're all supposed to ignore it because it's a topic. Honestly, I can't say how many people have replied to me saying, "Look, Paul, we've mentioned this on other channels and we get deleted, we get blocked." It's crazy. People just do not want to talk about this subject, and it's fascinating. It's a topic that is given. You can find it everywhere because they have to get it in. I've told you he is one of the gods of gods. Ancients pray to him first. That's why they moved his month from the 11th to the 1st. And you'll always see people talking, "Oh, did you know January was named after Janus?" But look at what I've put in the content over the years. And it all gets used on people's channels. They don't say where they get it from. Those sly dogs! But yeah, let me just quickly then see what else I've missed. But I've just really enjoyed this video. I know you shouldn't when we're talking about these things, but it inspires me, and it, you know, the thrill of the hunt and trying to find connections. It brings me to life. It's like, I believe what I'm put here to do, find these connections. Again, it's not for everyone. I do appreciate that. But when you're seeing stuff like the Janus particles are being combined in food products, like with that word I couldn't pronounce, anthocyanin and actate, and the stuff that they're found in his berries, currants, grapes, tropical fruits, grains, roots, tubers, sorry, and you got dairy products, dried pastas, bread, liquid eggs, salt, substitutes, coffee. It is scary. I was just saying to Sam, it's scary in the sense of you research these things and sometimes it doesn't compute. You know about it and it doesn't hit home. But this is really hit home. So we're talking about an insignificant god that they say. And yes, this is from one perspective, but I've showed enough over, I mean, basically the Vatican. It's crazy. So guys, I really do appreciate you giving time out today. Hopefully we're all having a good time. Life is treating us kindly because it's hit us hard as late. A lot of people close to me are finding it hard, and I'm not well, so I want to, you know, give my heart out and pray for these guys and ladies, and let's hopefully all the flockers can get back to fighting fit and doing our stuff that we do. So please, if you want to help the channel, please like, share and subscribe. And if you want to buy me a bar, you can do. The code is there. And I just want to leave with one point. Utopia talks about making the population sterile. They talk about the Janus Protein that exists. It's been found in sperm. It's added to medicines and food. And it was used in ho ho ho. I might have to edit that. So if it goes a little bit editing, it's because I've had to edit it. You know what the algorithm's like. So my little edit there might go beep or edit. Who knows? We'll do something. So you can just see the point. It's found in sperm. Wow. Come on. Shit hot this video. And I need you guys, if you like it, to share it about and get this message about, please, people with better minds, better computing skills. Just, like I said, I'm just like you guys. I just love to do this stuff. But there's people out there who are always better at what we do. And we need these people in the community. And we need people to strive and make this even more palatable for people to understand. I tried to do my best. I tried to make it break it down as possible. But mate, this thing is supposed to be a TV series. And then all these things exist. And that is the big what if. Right guys, stay safe, much love. I'll see you next time. Bye.